All righty, welcome everybody to Doug's Dugout Episode 3. And once again, we've got Doug Blunt. And Doug, what's new this week in baseball?
Well, the playoff pictures pretty much been settled. There's a couple teams that are still out there that may get a wild card berth. The A couple teams cinched. The St. Louis Cardinals we cinched the other night against Milwaukee Tuesday night.
Uh-huh.
The Atlanta Braves and I believe the Mets are in it, and there's a good chance the Philadelphia Phillies will be in it. American League's been pretty much settled, except there's a Toronto Blue Jays is fighting for a wild card berth. On the other news, the big news was that Albert hit number 700 last Friday, and then he hit earlier in the week. Friday night he hit 701, and then today his last game in regular season he hit 702.
All right, well, we've got a video here of him hitting 701. Let's go ahead and play it.
2-pitch with runners at first and third, 2 down back in the first inning. And the first pitch, take it for a ball.
This was in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Between Pujols and Molina.
And as you can see, there's
2004 through 11, and again here in
shirts on the crowd in
2022,
Milwaukee.
9 seasons, 19 All-Star selections between the two. The 1-1, fouled back. What a rip.
Dan, as you mentioned, they've been playing montages of big moments. Last half inning, it was Albert Pujols, huge home runs. You see Albert, he's in the dugout, he's watching them. He's
See all those red shirts?
It's happening.
Yeah, I see
and
that.
The 1-2.
Lots of them for being an away game.
Yeah.
I like your thinking.
You just tell he was
If
into
you look,
it. You see,
for
like,
some of the
teammates would
fans, if
walk
you look
by
at
and just
when
say,
Albert
"Wow."
is hitting, you look at his
I also
wrist,
noticed
how
as they
fast
show
they are.
those, a lot of
Yeah.
those teammates talking to Adam Wainwright, and Wainwright giving the backstory on some of those too.
And
got in on his hands, fouled away, and a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Danny Mack's doing the announcing for the Cardinals with Brad Thompson.
Most hits,
as doing
runs
the color.
batted in, home runs than any other player born outside the U.S. The 1-2. Albert hits it out to deep left.
There he goes.
Number 701 into
Wow.
Big Mac land. The final homestand of his career, and the memories just keep on coming. 701.
There he goes.
There he is. Yadier will greet me.
Now,
He'll
did
be
you
doing
say
the
this
curtain
was an away game?
No, this was in St. Louis. I was
Okay.
wrong. I thought it was Milwaukee. Okay. That's the owner of the Cardinals.
Bill DeWitt,
the one on the left.
wife Kathy,
Yeah, he also owns all the
and
arguments.
home run number 701 for the great Albert Pujols. And another magical moment. 398 feet and 103
That's
off
it for
the
that.
bat.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, let's go to our scoreboard. Our scoreboard here. Let me try to find the. Give me a second. There we go.
We forgot to mention that Aaron Judge broke. He hit, I think, 60 and 61 homers this week. 60 61. He tied Roger Maris's record.
Wow.
61 is an all-time Yankee home run hitter.
Wow.
Yeah, that guy is a monster, man. 6'6". He's fast. He's going to get a good contract. He's a free agent.
Who do you think he's going to go with? Stay or go elsewhere?
I think he's going to stay. I think the Yankees are going to, they're just going to give him 20% of the team. I think. I think they're going to. Yeah, they're going to pay him.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. As I mentioned, I was trying to find a scoreboard here of all the teams' scores. The MLB apparently updated the website, so it was a little tough to find stuff there, but I found somewhere else. So first of all, we've got the American League here, and you want to talk about what's going on there?
Yeah, let's see if I can see it. Okay. The Yankees, they have the perennial winners in the AL East. They've won the division, and the Blue Jays the Blue Jays and the Rays are fighting for a playoff wild card berth.
Right.
And also too is that a surprise team this year was the Orioles. Mm-hmm. They're going to end up with probably 82-77 record.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been perennial below 500 clubs, so they've got a good young ball club and a small market team. And look for next year on the Orioles. And of course, so the Red Sox had a bad year this year. They 75-83.
Right.
The teams to watch is the Blue Jays are they're red hot right now, just red hot. So in a short series like the playoffs, watch the Blue Jays. They may a team gets hot in the playoffs, so watch the Blue Jays.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you've got the AL Central. Look at that.
Yeah,
the Guardians.
The Guardians, otherwise known as the Cleveland Indians. Okay, and they had a good year. They're 20 games over 500. They're in. They cinched their division some time ago. It looks like the White Sox is going to be the wild card team. Twins, Tigers, and Royals perennial losers. Not so much the Twins. The Twins had a good year, but they kind of fell apart about 2 weeks ago.
Is Tigers, it the Twins your daughter's team?
Yeah, that's Taylor's team is the Twins. And look for the Twins next year. They've got a good young ball player named Buxton that looks like he's going to be pretty good. And he was hurt a little earlier, so I think they'll get a little pitching. I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Tigers, they're constant rebuilding. And the Royals, last week we said that they fired the general manager, Dayton Moore, small market team. I don't know. I don't expect much from the Royals next year either.
Yeah. And then, of course, you've got the American League West.
Yeah, the Astros, definitely one of the best teams in baseball. Look at that record.
Yeah.
103-55. Okay. Good team. Excellent pitching. Verlander's back. He's pitching good. I mean, that's the team to watch is the Astros to win the World Series, to get in the World Series. The Mariners, they're in the wild card berth. This is the first time they've hit the playoffs since the days of, I think, Alex Rodriguez and who's a player who used to play for, oh, shoot, I forget the guy's name. But it's been like 25 years or about 20 years since the Mariners hit the playoffs. They've got a good young ball club. They've got an excellent young Latin ball player that's having a great year. That's a rookie. Yeah. Angels, what can I say about the Angels? They best player in baseball, Mike Trout, the Japanese ball player that goes both ways. He's a pitcher and a hitter. Is Otani, and he has signed a new $30 million contract for 1 year. He's had, he pitched good. He pitched good. I think it's like 14-8. I think is his record, and then he's hit like I think close to 40 homers.
Wow.
And so yeah. Trout was hurt most of the year. He's still going to hit up with 40 homers.
Yeah.
The Rangers, below 500 team, they tried to rebuild. The Rangers are the Rangers. Athletics, probably the worst record in baseball, 56-102. Last year I believe they made the playoffs. They were one of the best playoff teams. They had the misfortune of all their contracts coming due at the same time or close to it, and so they traded everybody away. So it's more or less a minor league team. And the Athletics will be down for like 5 years or so, and then they'll have a good year, and then they'll trade everybody away again. Still playing in the mausoleum.
Well, let's look at the National League here. Alrighty, and of course the National League East, you've got the Braves there.
Yeah, Braves. The Braves, one of the teams to watch in the playoffs. Great team, good record. Look at it, 99-59. Good pitching, good young ball club.
Yeah.
A lot of rookies. This young kid named Harris III, he's having a rookie year he'll probably get rookie of the year this year. And some other ball players. They've got some people coming back from injuries, and their pitching the Braves always do have good pitching from the days back of Glavine, Madden, and the other guy. There was 3 pitchers back in the 90s. So they have good pitching.
Mm-hmm.
The Mets, 98-60. They're in the playoff hunt, and I believe they're in the other wild card, and they've got a good team. The Polar Bear, who is having a great year, and they've got some other ball players on that team having a great year, and their pitching is this Jacob deGrom. He's unbelievable. He got banged around a little bit last time he was out, but he'll be okay. Phillies have a chance of making the playoffs. That's a team to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I believe today or tomorrow we'll find out about them. The Marlins and the Nationals. Well, the Marlins, they got their own problems down in Florida right now with the hurricane, but
Right.
The Nationals, I think, has the worst record in baseball. Okay, there again, they traded all their players away at the trading deadline, and the team was also for sale.
Wow.
So yeah. So
got a few million to spare, Doug.
Yeah, especially in that market, I bet you they'll sell it for $1 billion. When they won the World Series, and I believe it was in 2019, and the owner says, "I'll never sell this ball club."
Yeah.
Okay, but here's 3 years later, it's up on eBay. So
now, is he just selling it because he doesn't want anymore, or?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it got too expensive for him.
Well, maybe one of the tech companies will buy.
I don't know. I think the trend seems to be that a lot of ex-players are buying they're getting a consortium together, and they're buying teams. Okay.
Yeah.
Sort of like what Derek Jeter did earlier. And then also, like Magic Johnson. Of course, Magic Johnson played basketball, but he bought into the Dodgers. So I think it'll be a group of people, but I don't believe the Nationals will be moving.
Well, there's very few people like Steve Ballmer and Paul Allen that can just dole out the cash like they did.
Well, our old buddy Elon Musk. I mean, if I had my druthers, I would rather buy a baseball team than I would Twitter. But
yeah,
it's
imagine
cheaper too.
That.
Yeah, he could probably buy the whole league for what he paid for Twitter. I think he's trying to get out of that, but
I know.
He's got other, he's not a big sports fan, I don't think.
No, I don't think he is. And then you've got the National League Central there.
St. Louis Cardinals, that record's 92-66. Pretty good year. I mean, it's a memorable year because of Albert, Yadier, and Wainwright. Albert and Yadier, they're retiring, and Albert came back from St. Louis from the Angels, and he's had we've talked about him many, many times. And Wainwright has pitched okay, but the last couple of times he pitched okay today. He only went out 5 innings. He only did 5 innings today, but they'll be back for the playoffs. So the playoffs, we play Pittsburgh Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and Pittsburgh's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we start Friday the playoffs in St. Louis.
Wow.
So yeah. So I told there's a little joke in the family here. We always wanted to live in St. Louis, right across the street from Busch Stadium.
Yeah.
And there's an apartment building called One Cardinal Way.
Uh-huh.
And if you move into One Cardinal Way during the Cardinals are in the playoffs, you get free rent.
Yeah.
As long as they're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that I told Diva that, and she, let's go.
All right.
Brewers, good team. They seem to hit the long ball instead of more than they wait for the long ball. Their pitching's pretty good. Even though they traded away the ace reliever, I think he'll be but Corbin Burns and this kid named Woodward, ace pitcher. So it's a wild card team, possible wild card team. So we'll see what happens on that later in the week.
Yeah.
Cubs. Well, the Cubs had a bad year. I'm sure Wrigley Field was sold out. The friendly confines were sold out every game, but they're in the process of rebuilding. The Reds, there again at the beginning of the year, they traded away all their star players. The only one they had left was Joey Votto, and he had a bad year, and he's been hurt ever since the first week in August. So, like I think I said last week, is that in order to get fan support, Joey Votto was walking around in the stands, sitting down, talking to fans in order to back the team. That's how bad the things are in Cincinnati.
Hey, Chris Savala says hello.
Chris who?
Chris Savala.
Oh, hey, Chris Savala. How you doing, guy? We talked about your Minnesota Twins a while ago. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, I think he's still on.
Yeah, he's still on. Pittsburgh. Cardinals are playing Pittsburgh right now. It's 6-5 right now.
Yeah.
We're in looks like we're only in the 6th inning. Pittsburgh, watching Pittsburgh this week in St. Louis, they've got a lot of work to do in Pittsburgh for next year. Just like the first inning of this game, they dropped four fly balls.
Yeah.
And made 2 throwing errors.
Yeah.
And they got a young ball club. I think everybody on the team is under the age of 25, but their defense is just terrible. Just terrible. And they have no pitching.
And then you've
nice
got
nice ballpark though.
Yeah. And then you've got the NL West.
Yeah, look at that record for the Dodgers. 110, was it 45? 110, 45. Definitely the best record in baseball.
Yeah.
Dodgers are favored to win the World Series. The Cardinals played them last week. We barely got out of there alive. I think we lost a series. We did win 1 game. Dodgers have everything. They have good pitching, good hitting. Freddie Freeman, they picked up from the Braves. He's having a banner year, and some other ball players are. Probably the best hitting catcher in baseball. Just good bench. They got everything going for them. So
Yeah.
look for the Dodgers to be in the World Series. Okay. And Padres, they're starting to get hot now a little bit. They picked up all these players at the trading deadline, Juan Soto and Josh Bell, Josh Hader, and a couple other guys. And everybody kind of thought, well, they were going to run away with it. They've gotten better. But they didn't. They struggled. And in September, they started winning. So, but I think the Padres will probably get kicked out of the playoffs, probably the first series.
Yeah.
Giants, they're playing 500 ball. Giants has had a bad year, and even though there's an old time Cardinal that is on the Giants, his name is John Brebbia. He's got this big beard, in the beginning of the season, he's clean shaven, and then he doesn't shave for the whole year, and it grows down to, he grows down to his chest.
Yeah.
Okay. And he had a baby when he was with the Cardinals. His wife had a baby in him, and they named the baby Yadier Wainwright over the Cardinal catcher and the Cardinal pitcher.
Wow.
Yeah. This guy's crazy, man. He's a character.
Yeah.
So I'm always rooting for Brebbia to do good. He went out with Tommy John surgery. Cardinals didn't sign him, and so the Giants took a flyer on him. He's pitched good. The last time I looked, he was 6-0.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Diamondbacks. I don't believe they've got watch for they're having a bad year, but they did pick up 2 young pitchers from their minor league that's having a really good year. They're a team to watch for next year. If they get a little bit of hitting, I believe Diamondbacks may challenge the Dodgers and the Padres next year.
Wow.
With their pitching.
Wow.
Yeah. Rockies, they're playing in Denver. That altitude kills you. My daughter just got back from Denver.
Yeah.
And she complained the whole time because of the altitude there.
Yeah.
Same story, no pitching because the ball just launches out of there,
Yeah.
They can't get any good pitchers to come there.
Yeah.
They got a couple good ball players. But I don't think the Colorado Rockies will do anything next year.
Yeah. Well, currently, I guess the scores right now on some of the games going on today, you've got the Orioles and the Yankees there,
Yeah, James Croston will like that. 3-1. He's a big Oriole fan.
Yeah, Baltimore, right? Baltimore Orioles?
Yeah, Baltimore. Yep, Baltimore. Yeah.
Then you've got Houston and the Tampa Bay Rays there. Yep. 3-1.
Is that tonight?
That's it says top 9.
Oh, top of the 9th. 3-1.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you've got your favorite team there, the Marlins. They're on the top of the 9th, and well, they were 2-1. Right?
Yeah.
2-1.
My dad always said when a team does good at the end, when a last place team does good at the end of the season, it's salary drive.
And then top of the 7th, you've got the Pirates and your Redbirds there.
Yeah, I just want to say, Albert hit 702 in the first inning today, and he got it. Well, actually, he had a double the first inning, drove in 2 runs. He tied Babe Ruth for the most RBIs, and then a couple innings later, he hit 702. And then about the 5th inning, Wainwright was pitching, and this is Yadier, Molina, and Albert's last game in Busch Stadium, regular season game.
Yeah.
Okay. And when they took Wainwright out in the 5th inning, Yachty and Albert walked off with him. So all 3 left the field at the same time. So that was kind of a classy deal. And I sent you a video that shows the presentation they gave Yachty and Albert. So
Yeah, we're gonna show it
yeah,
here in a second as a
yeah,
closing.
we can talk
here.
about that later.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
crowds were lined up in St. Louis since last night.
yeah.
You know, outside. So we'll talk about that later.
So what's your prediction for that final score there?
Oh, I think Cardinals may get beat. We've got nothing but the Memphis Redbirds in there now. Arenado didn't play today, and Arenado just DH'd, and Goldschmidt's taking a break, and all the regulars are out. The good news is that the young fella got a hit, unbelievable, and he was like 0 for 30, but Pittsburgh. Unless Pittsburgh throws the game away with an error, God, their defensive, they're just terrible, terrible. I think one of the Brownsville high school teams could play defense better than them.
And that's saying a lot,
Yeah.
Then at the bottom of the 8th, you've got the Cubs and the Reds. Look at that. The Cubs are ahead, right?
How about that? Salary drive, they're trying to get their players are trying to hit as many homers as they can to get their stats up.
Yeah. And then you've got, the Diamondbacks at the bottom of the 2. That's an early game there with the Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Stay tuned for next year.
Then you've got the Rangers and the Angels there.
Yeah, look for some homers from maybe Trout or Ohtani.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Rockies right now and the Dodgers. And they're at the mid-3.
Yeah, mid-3.
And then you've
got... the deal with the Dodgers is they always get behind in the first 7 innings. The Dodgers do. They look like they're going to get beat, and then they get hot the 8th and the 9th, and then they win the game. They've got I don't know how many come from behind games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder why that's the case. They just slack off, or
I don't know what the case is. These one of those teams that never say die, and they come back from behind and they win the game. Earlier this year, the Cardinals were winning 7-0 with Wainwright was cruising, and they took Wainwright out because he threw 100 pitches, and the Dodgers came back and scored 8 runs and beat the Cardinals 8-7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got the Athletics and the Mariners. No surprise there.
Well, the Mariners, they're heading for a playoff berth. Yeah. The Athletics, they're playing in Seattle. The crowd will be okay in Seattle.
Yeah. Besides freezing their tails off.
Well, they have an indoor stadium.
And then you've got the Sox and the Padres, the White Sox.
Yeah. Yeah. The White Sox and the Padres.
Yeah.
Both teams are fighting for that's a game to watch because both teams are fighting for a playoff berth.
Yeah. And then the Phillies and the Nationals. No surprise.
Okay, well,
there.
look at that score, 8-1 Phillies. They're definitely fighting for a playoff berth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then tonight you've got the Mets and the Braves at 7.
Yeah, it's a Sunday night game on ESPN. That game's been set up for television purposes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good game,
Yep. And then you've got the finals here between the Twins and the Tigers. I guess that's what, 5-2?
Tater and Chris's Twins got beat 5-2 in Detroit. I bet there was a lot of people at that stadium that day. Today at Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue Jays and Red Sox.
Blue Jays are hotter than a firecracker. They're playing in Toronto. And they're finally letting people across the border. So they're playing in Toronto. Before they were playing in Buffalo, Last year they played all their games in Buffalo.
Do they have an indoor stadium?
They have what? Indoor stadium?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have an indoor stadium and it's magnificent. There's a hotel in the stadium, and so when you rent a room, you can get a room that shows the baseball field, and there's like a little patio, and you open up the sliding door and you go out there and you can watch the game.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember the last time that I was in Toronto, it was minus 17 degrees. Never again.
Never again. I've been there a few times. I had to go up to a vendor up in Toronto in Canada, and I went up there in January. It was, as I always say, colder than a witch's tit.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
And then you've got a final here, the Guardians and the Royals,
Yeah, well, what can I say? Yeah, Cleveland, and they having a good year. They've got a good young ball club. It seems like Terry Francona, their manager, has found the fountain of youth, and he's done a good job with the Guardians this year.
Yeah. Yeah, well, definitely, it'll be interesting here as the weeks get shorter and shorter, So let's talk about this next video. Let's go ahead and...
Yeah, this has got to be other than the fact of Aaron Judge hitting 61, this has got to be the big one. I mean, I'll set this up for you. Okay, this is
Go ahead.
we're in St. Louis. We're in St. Louis Busch Stadium. In the crowd, 50,000 people, standing room only. And on the field, there is all the Cardinal dignitaries. There's some Hall of Fame ball players sitting down and their families. Albert's family's there, Yadi's family there, and then the owner and Dan McLaughlin that does the Cardinal games on TV. He's the master of ceremonies, and we can take it away after that. Go ahead, Dan.
All right.
Dan McLaughlin, the TV voice of the Cardinals, and welcome to the farewell ceremony for Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina. Since the time we heard this would be their final season, this day has loomed as the epic, bittersweet event of the year. It seems like all summer we've been building towards this moment with every new record, each milestone that they have delivered. Not many can determine the way that their career will end. Even fewer can command a final day ceremony for their departure. And even the greatest haven't been able to put an exclamation point on the end quite like these two have done here in 2022. Wow.
Look at that crowd.
Look at that crowd.
Today, we recognize two of the most beloved players in Cardinals history, in Yadier Molina and Albert Pujols. As evident by the 2 World Championship trophies next to the podium, there's no secret that the careers of these two players have paralleled 2 decades of excellence in Cardinals history. They have redefined expectations for a franchise that was already drenched in winning tradition. They have become the new standard for greatness at their respective positions, not only for this franchise, but ladies and gentlemen, all of Major League Baseball. In a game where numbers define your accomplishments, in St. Louis, the numbers that matter the most to our fan base are located on our outfield wall. Today, we are celebrating the achievements and success of number 4 and number 5. They have cemented their place in the hearts of you, our fans, the greatest fans in the game of baseball. From opening day through today, Cardinal fans have had just an incredible outpouring of emotion and excitement for Yadier and Albert in their final season. As you can see in center field, that gratitude is conveyed on giant thank you cards signed by the fans. And a special thanks to Bally Sports Midwest for helping coordinate that event.
They put those cards out in front of the stadium before the game.
Oh, wow.
Today, we all are here to say thanks and to celebrate the farewell of two Cardinal icons. Let's meet the people on the field that will help us with this farewell. Cardinals Chairman of the Board, Mr. Bill DeWitt.
You've got to meet.
Cardinals President, Bill DeWitt III. President of Baseball Operations, John Mozeliak. Manager of the NL Central Champions, Ali Marmol.
That's the manager, right? That you were talking
Yeah,
about?
and he's only 35.
From the
Everybody else
Pujols
is older.
family, please welcome his children, Bella,
There's Albert's family.
AJ, and girlfriend, Leslie, Sophia, Ezra, and Esther.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's a ton of kids.
The guy with the Cardinal jersey is AJ. That's Albert's son.
In addition to representatives on the field, please welcome the friends and family of Yadier Molina and Albert Pujols celebrating from the suites of numbers 215 and 216.
So obviously a Puerto Rico flag here.
On the field from the Molina family, please welcome his brothers, his children, his wife, and his mother.
Those two brothers played professional baseball.
Yeah.
That one brother in the red shirt, he does the Cardinal games in Spanish.
Wow.
In 2 decades of baseball,
Benji.
Albert and Yadi have had the privilege of playing with 5 Cardinals Red Jacket Hall of Famers. Please welcome Cardinals Hall of Famers back here with us today to celebrate. Teammate Ray Langford.
The Cardinals, when they put their name out in
Teammate
the outfield, they give
Jason
them a red jacket.
Isringhausen. Newest Cardinal Hall of Famer, Matt Holliday. Representing the current team, the man who stood with these two through most of their careers. And some unfinished business today. Today's starter, Adam Wainwright.
Yep. 326 times Yadier and Wainwright pitched each other. Started again. Even
We'd
the
also
Bob
like to
Uecker seats are
recognize
filled up.
all the
up there.
Cardinal players and the staff in the home dugout. Give them a huge round of applause, please.
Can you imagine if you're a Cardinal rookie?
As well as
witnessing
members
this?
of the visiting Pirates team, including manager Derek Shelton.
He'll probably get fired at the end of the year.
From Puerto Rico, renowned artist Carlos Mercado. Their place in baseball history is clearly evident. And now please welcome, to help secure their place in St. Louis history, the mayor of St. Louis, Tashara Jones. Mayor Jones has brought proclamations for both players to recognize their greatness and secure their names and numbers in St. Louis history. They read, first for Yadier, whereas the city of St. Louis is proud to join with the Cardinals to recognize the legacy and historic career of Yadier Molina. And whereas, on behalf of the people of St. Louis, it's my great pleasure to celebrate the legendary career of Yadier Molina and honor him as one of the great ambassadors for the St. Louis region and baseball fans worldwide. Now, therefore, by decree, Tashara Jones, Mayor of the City of St. Louis, proclaim October 4th, 2022, to be known as Yadier Molina Day in the City of St. Louis.
You know, Albert played 10 years with the Angels. I don't think the Angels would do anything like this.
Won't be the only time we hear that today, Yadi. Get ready for it. And now for Albert. Whereas the city of St. Louis is proud to join with the St. Louis Cardinals to recognize the legacy and historic career of Albert Pujols. And whereas, on behalf of the people of St. Louis, it's my great pleasure to celebrate the legendary career of Albert Pujols, honor him as one of the great ambassadors for the St. Louis region and baseball fans everywhere. Now, therefore, by decree of Tashara Jones, Mayor of the City of St. Louis, proclaim October 5th, 2022, known as Albert Pujols Day in the City of St. Louis. Now, please welcome to the podium the Cardinals chairman of the board, Mr. Bill DeWitt.
He's got the meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he presents a couple gifts. I thought the gifts were kind of...
I want to start by thanking both Albert and Yadi for allowing us to take some time from their pregame routine to celebrate their remarkable accomplishments prior to their last regular season home game. The fierce competitors that they are, it took a little convincing to do this on a game day. The Cardinals have had a Hall of Famer in uniform every year since 1909.
Wow.
So it's easy to take greatness for granted. But there's great, and then there's something that transcends greatness. These two players have a combined 41 years
the thing that's pretty cool
in
about
Major
this
League
is
Baseball.
Yadier and Albert were like the best friends.
Yeah.
They came up through the Cardinal system.
Together,
they came up about the same
they have
time.
amassed over 5,000
And they
hits and over
best of
5,000 games played. Both players are 10-time All-Stars while wearing the birds on the bat. Yadier Molina and Albert Pujols rank first and second among active players in postseason games played. Together, they have played in 4 National League Championship Series and 3 World Series. And together, they have won 2 World Series championships.
So, Danny, if you want to skip ahead a little bit, that's okay, too.
In the 22 years of this Pujols and Molina era, the Cardinals have...
Well, that is amazing. So, these 2 guys are walking off the field after this year.
Yeah, if you go toward the end of the, probably, 12 minutes long, toward the end. Okay, about right there. Okay, Albert gets up there.
In my entire career, for the support and the memories.
He does it in Spanish. His English is okay.
I want to send Melvin Roman, my agent. Love you, man. Want to thank all the people and fans from Puerto Rico for the support and love all those years. Lo amos. I want to have a moment and tell my mom in Spanish.
Yadi's mother.
Gracias por todo el sacrificio que tú y mi papá hicieron juntos con mis tíos que a todos amos, por enseñarme este lindo deporte, por hacerme un hombre de bien y de fe. Te amo, vieja, que Dios te dé muchos años más de vida, más alegría para todos nosotros. Te amo. So, I hope all you guys understand that Spanish. A mis hermanos, my bros, José, Benji, los amo con todo mi corazón. A mis hijos, los amo.
His brothers are great catchers, too.
Really?
And the last, I'm proud. And it was a great honor to wear this uniform for 19 years here in St. Louis.
19. Wow.
Now Albert get up there and that'll be the end of it.
In baseball heaven. And with you, the best fan in baseball. Thank you so much.
19 years with the Cardinals. Came up through the, 19 years in the majors, came up through the farm system.
Yeah.
And first in, I think 2004 he came up.
One more time for Yadier Molina.
Probably the best defensive catcher that ever played
Mr.
the
DeWitt
game.
said it best.
And a decent hitter.
Welcome home to the greatest right-handed hitter, the greatest hitter of his generation. Ladies and gentlemen, Albert Pujols.
Albert gives a good speech here.
Wow, pretty amazing. Tiene el teléfono, brother. So Yadier has a bet. He had his phone out. He told me we only got 2 minutes to speak. So hurry up. What a year so far. First of all, I want to... First of all, I want to thank my good Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for opening this door to come back to the city of St. Louis and find the joy and the love that I have for this game. I want to thank Mr. DeWitt, Mo, and the whole front office for believing in me and giving me the opportunity to come back here to the city of St. Louis and finish my career here. I want to thank 5 beautiful people that I have behind me. My family. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for getting the best out of me and pushing me to the limit. I love you all. I want to thank my agent, Dan Lozano. He's somewhere out there, and the MVP Sport Group for believing in me for 22 years and for pushing me this year to not retire. So thank you. I want to thank my teammates. Thank you for welcoming me back with open arms. It has been a privilege and honor to wear in this uniform for 11 years before I left, and definitely for the last year with the St. Louis Cardinals. So thank you so much to all of you. And 2 special people in my life. One of them you hear speak, Yadier and Bueno. Thank you guys for all those space time in the off season and bringing me back here. I know you guys have a lot to do with that.
Yeah, both those guys were influential getting out.
And one special person that I want to thank is my manager, Ollie Marmo. Thank you, bro.
And I would probably ask him, where's the rent check at? Marmo's renting a house
6
from
months
Albert.
ago when you told me that you want to bring me back here along with the ownership. So thank you for believing in me. Thank you for sticking with me. God bless you, brother. When I look into this year, there's a lot of things that had to be play in place. The DH had to come back. Or actually, they had established the DH for me to come back to this city. So I was like, wow. I might have a chance to go back to St. Louis and play again. So that happened. Then a slow start. I was like, man, I should have retired. There were so many things that came to my mind. Like, I should have done it. But then I had a great faith in the Lord. There's no way that he brought me here to the city of St. Louis to embarrass myself. Just like Paul, he wanted me to finish strong. And this is just one step that we take being in the postseason. So our next step is to try to bring a championship back to the city of St. Louis.
I think we've got a chance this year, Danny.
Yeah.
And to all you Cardinal Nation, best fans in baseball, thank you so much for all your support, all the joy, all the tears that we have shared together. I love you all. You guys are always going to have a special place in my heart. God bless you all. Thank you.
Well, there you go.
There you go. You know. So yeah.
It's been a memorable year.
What a way to retire. You know, it'd be nice to get to the World Series. That would be a great capstone.
Yeah, the Cardinals organization gave Albert and Yadier 2 golf bags.
Yeah.
Or golf clubs. I'm sorry, 2, and the Dodgers gave them golf bags.
Wow.
So, you know, like I said, you know, all these athletes, they all like free stuff. You know, where's my free stuff at?
Yep. We all like free stuff. That's for sure. All righty. Well, it was a great episode today, Doug. I've got a pretty busy week here. Tomorrow, there's a topic that I'm going to have tomorrow night. It's a topic that is probably of interest to you. We have up to October 28th to fill out a survey at the Cameron County website, and it is for funds for broadband connectivity. The county is pursuing federal funds to pursue fiber and satellite connectivity for a lot of the rural areas of the county. You know, if you're in Brownsville, in a year, you're going to be lucky because you'll have access to fiber. But, you know, out there where you're at Rancho and the surrounding areas, you know, that's not going to be possible. So the county is pursuing federal funds to actually build, you know, increased broadband connectivity in the rural areas. So as part of that effort, I do have Cameron County Judge Eddie Trevino tomorrow night on the show, where we're going to talk about what the broadband initiative includes. And hopefully everybody goes out and fills out that survey before the 28th so that we can get some of, you know, Biden's wallet. At least for broadband, you know. I mean, I know that you made a switch. I know you made a switch to 5G, you know, a couple of months ago. And I think so far you're pretty pleased.
I am. I filled out the survey. I read that on the online, and I filled that about a week ago. I filled that survey out. It takes less than 5 minutes. It's not very long.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and demo that survey. I haven't filled it out yet. I actually was waiting to have the county judge on board tomorrow, and I'd fill it out while I had him online. So that'll be an example to everybody out there that it doesn't take very long, but there's a lot of benefits in the future if we're able to expand internet broadband capability across the county. So
yeah, but it's just radio buttons.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, it's going to be an exciting week this week, and like I said, it's always exciting to talk about baseball. We'll see what the rest of the week you know, gives us as far as the teams that are left, and I believe we've got another one scheduled, hopefully for the week for the weekend. So, Doug, as always, it's great to have you, and we'll see you next week.
And that's a winner.
All righty. Good night, everybody.